Today's episode will be about something extremely important. 5 reasons why you can't let go of the narcissist. The first reason, and it's a very important one that makes it extremely hard to break free from the narcissist, is that you're still attached to the narcissistic illusion. You're still emotionally tied to the fake persona and the deception the narcissist used during the early stages of the relationship, especially during the love bombing phase. That's the phase when the narcissist overwhelms you with affection, attention, and big promises about your future together. But eventually, as we all know from the narcissistic abuse cycle, the relationship starts to fall apart. This cycle often begins with excessive idealization, followed by emotional flooding, and then comes the devaluation stage. We also know how powerful and effective the love bombing stage can be, especially for victims who tend to depend on others emotionally or rely on relationships for their sense of stability. If you're that kind of person, you're more likely to get deeply attached to the narcissist. Even after the relationship ends, you may still find yourself emotionally hooked, almost like you're addicted to them, despite all the abuse you experienced. What you're really attached to is your story with them, the illusion. That's the narcissistic fantasy. And in order to truly break free from it, you need to understand and fully accept that this person is not real. The person you saw in the beginning wasn't genuine. It was a carefully constructed mask. And that's one of the hardest parts, letting go of that old, imaginary story. This leads us directly to the second reason why you struggle to move on from the narcissist. There's still some form of contact, even if it's minimal and not full-blown communication. We've talked before about how sometimes it's genuinely hard to go full no contact, like when there are children involved or a shared job or business that can't easily be separated. That's when you need to apply the gray rock method, giving the narcissist no emotional reaction, no energy, and only engaging in the absolute necessities. Nothing more. Then, when possible, you move to full no contact. But for people who have no real reason to maintain contact, no kids, no shared responsibilities, it's absolutely crucial that you cut off all communication in every possible way. Even minimal or necessary contact keeps you psychologically attached. You might still follow the narcissist on social media or check their updates. You're still in their orbit, and that slows down your healing. This kind of low-level contact stops you from fully recovering because you're constantly being re-exposed to emotional triggers, like seeing them post their new fake life or jumping into a new relationship right after the breakup. And we all know narcissists move from one relationship to another very quickly. The second reason, very quickly, is that you're going to see the narcissist's new relationship, and that will make healing from them even harder and take much longer, just as we mentioned earlier. Cutting contact is the fastest and most effective way to heal and break free from the narcissist. It helps weaken and eventually break the emotional bond between you and them. You need to understand very clearly that you're still deeply emotionally attached to the narcissist, and that is what makes it so difficult to leave or move on. That's why going fully no contact is one of the best strategies to help you reach your goal. The third main reason it's hard to leave or break free from the narcissist, and what keeps you stuck in the toxic relationship, is that you're not focusing on your own healing. Instead, you're still focused on the narcissist. You keep thinking about the relationship and obsessing over certain details, like trying to figure out what type of narcissist they are, or whether they're really a bad person or just misunderstood. But if you could shift your focus and use all that energy you're spending trying to understand the narcissist, and instead put into your healing, you would make a huge step toward recovery. And the first simple step is to say to yourself and truly admit, everything about this relationship was a loss. Yes, that sentence might be painful to accept, but it's necessary to begin your journey back to yourself. You need to move past trying to understand them. I'm not talking about understanding what happened to you. I mean truly recognizing that the entire relationship was slow destruction for your life. You must stop thinking about who the narcissist is with now, why they treated you a certain way, why they never posted pictures with you on Facebook, but now they're posting pictures with their new partner, why they're treating the new person better, or what's wrong with you that made them act that way. If you can stop thinking about all of that, you'll naturally begin to shift your focus back to yourself, to your life, and start understanding you more. And that's when real healing begins. That's when you'll truly start detaching from the narcissist. Let's be honest. Many people are still secretly hoping to have the narcissist in their life, even after all the abuse, whether it's by texting them for any small reason or just keeping some kind of connection. But if you're doing this, you need to realize you're giving the narcissist exactly what they want, and it means you're still emotionally attached. Sometimes you might say, the narcissist won't leave me alone. But I'll tell you this, the narcissist will never leave you alone because they're not wired that way. Your emotional supply is like a drug to them. And when that supply runs low, they'll come back for another dose. That's why they reach out again. You can end the relationship, but in the narcissist's mind, that's unacceptable. They'll always try to come back. They always want to keep a door open so they can return whenever they want and leave again whenever they feel like it. That's why you won't be able to end it just by saying, he's not leaving me alone, because he never will. But you have the power and the strength to leave him. And that's where no contact becomes crucial for those who can fully implement it. And for those who have to stay in minimal contact due to kids, work, or other reasons, that contact needs to be extremely limited, emotionless, and strictly necessary. That's your path to freedom.